Alright, hi there YouTube, it's me, Morseed America, playing on the global version of Dragon Blaze. However, this episode will be talking about Transcended Michaela. Like usual, I'll do a quick rundown about her global skills. This is before Chapter 5, then the next section will talk about her usage and her abilities after Chapter 5. Now, know that global will not exactly copy some of the numbers when it comes to like converting the skills to whatever you see over in the Korean Dragon Blaze. Just know that yeah, if there's a slight difference here and there when the change actually kicks in, then yeah, that's why. So keep that in mind. Anyways, another thing I want to address is that the Korean tier list does not display the rankings for Transcended allies anymore. I was lucky enough to get a couple of the Transcended allies and I was able to record some of the stuff for the tier list, but hopefully I can figure out a way to tell you guys what this ally is still used for X, Y, and Z. If you go to the Korean tier list, you can still use it to your advantage and you can still look at what cards you can get or the recommended weapon effects you want to aim for certain Transcended allies. Just know that when it comes to the rankings and stuff and like the chart that displays like what they're good in, it's not there anymore. It got replaced with the Overlord units in the Korean Dragon Blades. Now, I know Global has a tier list, however, I checked that out yesterday and it's not updated. So, most likely you'll have to try to ask around or figure it out yourself. And once again, if you want to go to the Discord for Dragon Blaze, it can be found in the description below. Enough of my chit-chatting, let's talk about Michaela and go over his skills, and then afterwards, the Chapter 5 nerf, and then, what she's good in, and then I'll give you guys a brief opinion about Michaela. So if I can find her, where are you, Michaela? Death Crown, Alright, so Transcendent Michaela. Once again, if you're gonna make Transcendent Michaela, you will need 50 Transcended Essences. You need an ultimate, ultimate tier key. And then you'll need to have, like, I think 50 million gold. Yeah, something like that. 50 million gold. And you will need the deified version of Michaela. Note, if you transcend someone, you get to lose the deified version. However, there's no more hero mode in global, so transcended allies are kind of the next big thing, or it is the main thing you want to aim for. But anyways, going back on topic, let's talk about her abilities. I'm gonna skip over the lore and stuff, or like the little description over here, but yeah, her normal attack is used, well, her normal attack is this. Actually, let me make sure that these are active skills. Yeah, her normal attack is actually down here. So, her normal attack has the self-inflict debuff on enemies that make them receive a certain amount of damage that they have inflicted. Her first active skill is called Fist of the White Lotus, physical and close range. She has reached the climax of not in her... Wait, I said I was gonna skip over that. Dispels positive effects of one enemy and inflicts 6,810% damage. Enemy that is hit by the attack is 100% stunned for 8 seconds. Cooldown for this is 16.3 seconds, and that can be reduced if you have the cooldown weapon effect. His second active skill is Wind of the Tiger and Dragon. Blast through the enemy by compounding all- wait, god damn, I said I was gonna skip all that shit. Inflicts 3,652% damage on all enemies and grants an eternal damage debuff for 12 seconds. 35% of the damage inflicted by enemies with the eternal damage debuff is reflected back to them. Cooldown for this is 21.6 seconds. And her last active skill is called Challenge. This increases Michaela's attack by 447% and attack speed by 109% for 12 seconds. Inflicts an additional 224% of fixed damage and additional 364% damage on boss types. Received damage decreases by 67% and gains immunity against debuffs. When Michaela is ready, she selects and challenges one enemy in is able to detect their concealment and remove their buffs to have a one-on-one battle. All others become inactive during the battle. Cooldown for this is 29 seconds. Her first passive skill is called Beauty of Demolition. The Guardian is not affected any skills that affect summons, and it inflicts an additional 100% damage when Mikaela uses a normal attack, an additional 3,319% damage when using the Fist of the White Lotus skill, and an additional 2,030% damage when using the Wind of the Tiger and Dragon. If Mikaela wins this battle, increases fixed damage by 287% and cooldown recovery by 50% for 12 seconds. Also, the defeated enemy cannot use skills that are activated upon death. Her second passive skill is called Extreme Body. Mikaela's strong legs are... Wait, damn it. Well, I mean, yeah, if you look at her legs, they are really thick. I said I was gonna ignore the damn descriptions. Or like, the little statements there. Decreases all enemies' dexterity by 30% and increase your own dexterity by 10% for each Transcended Septon Archangela in your party. Also, life steals 30% of damage inflicted on an enemy by Mikaela. Her max ability is called Chi Barrier. Decreases Mikaela's received melee damage by 50% and inflicts an additional fixed damage equal to 500% of attack on all attacks. And then her ultimate skill is called God of Destruction. Mikaela's normal attacks have a chance to silence her enemy for 3 seconds. Additionally, taking magic damage will cause Mikaela to increase her physical attack by 25% and take 10% less magic damage for 9 seconds. This buff cannot be removed. Cooldown for this is 2-second ability unlocked at Ultimate Enhancement. But yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to Mikaela on the global right now. We are about to go into Chapter 5. So some of those abilities I'm going to go over, or like those abilities you see right now, will change when the Chapter 5 chapter hits, unless Global decides to do something else. But anyways, going to the past me, we're going to talk about what she's good in, and also her nerfed abilities when Chapter 5 hits.
Alright, so after Chapter 5 release, her normal skill should be the same. If not, then yeah, I'll kind of add a note talking about that. But yeah, deals damage to one enemy and debuffs it with self-injure mark that reflects a proportion of its damage back to itself. First active skill is a single damage physical melee, deals 1544% damage to one enemy and removes all buffs. Stuns the target for 5.2 seconds with 100% accuracy. Cooldown for this is 16.3 seconds. Second active skill is an AoE damage physical melee, deals 829% damage to all enemies and debuffs them with self-injure mark for 4.9 seconds. Receives 35% less damage from marked enemies. 21.6 seconds is its cooldown. Third active skill is a self buff. For 12 seconds increases self attack by 75%, attack speed by 52%, and enters 1v1 state. Selects one target, stealth included, to only use normal attack to deal damage to it. While 1v1 is performed, any other character on the field will be immobilized, including your allies. Cooldown for this is 29 seconds. Her first passive skill summons Genie to fight with her. Genie doesn't take any damage. Also, Mikaela's normal attack deals 100% damage. Her first active skill deals additional 755% damage. If she kills an enemy in 1v1 state, she increases self-piercing damage by 590%, cooldown reduction by 50%, and cancels death passives on her 1v1 state. Her second passive skill is a party buff. Increases party dexterity by 30%, also heals herself with 30% of dealt damage. Her max skill is a self buff, decreases self-incoming melee damage by 20%, also adds 400% piercing damage to all attacks. Her ultimate status is when using, well, it's a self buff. When using normal attack, has a chance to silence the target for 3 seconds. Also, when attacking when attacked by magic attacks, increases self-physical damage by 15% for 9 seconds and decreases self-received magic damage by 10%, immune to Dispel. And her arc ability is a self buff. Her third active skill additionally deals damage equivalent to 60% of target's HP, except for boss type units. Makes the target unable to receive heals and increase self attack by 75%, immune to Dispel. Oh wait, shoot. Where's my tier list? Here it is. So Michaela's is she's pretty low after chapter 5 because there's a bunch of other allies that are kind of up there for PvP situation, especially Kronos and I think Dion. But yeah, Michaela, she's not so great in Revenge of Belphegor. She's pretty decent in Tower Validation. Erebos not that high. Most of the world bosses not even. Well, Golem and Cerberus she's okay in, but Hydra not really, Chariot not really. Guild Adventures and Guild Siege not really. Most of her strong points are in PvP, so yeah, Michaela, even though you may want to make her, she's only good for, you know, PvP situations like arena, guild battles, and tag matches. If you do make her, she's handy in Golem and Cerberus, but other than that, she's just a transcended ally. And if that's all you can get, then you might as well make her, because if you're free to play, you don't want to waste money, and you want to do whatever the hell you want to do, then go ahead and make her. And if you love Michaela, yeah, she's great. So after chapter 5 though, you might consider getting some other transcended ally. But you may want to have Michaela so you can get the retention system. But yeah, I'll wrap it up now. So
Alright, so with that being said, that wraps up this episode of my review over Transcendent Michaela. Now, if you're gonna ask me if she's still good right now in both Global and Korea, not really. Actually, for Global she's okay, but then, you know, there's a bunch of other PvP allies right now. Atlas is gonna come around the corner when Chapter 5 hits, so she will become the new PvP queen because of her stuns. And then later on, Dion, the next warrior transcended ally, will be getting later on in chapter 5. She's very good when it comes to PvP. So Michaela, she's gonna go down on the tier list. So if you were able to use her full potential when max status was still around and during her first release, then yeah, Michaela is a beast. But nowadays, it's like we're getting a lot more allies. The newer allies tend to be better. Not saying all of them are, but that's the general gist of how the game works. So yeah. And the thing is, even if Michaela isn't that great, it's your call if you want to get her, like right now. If you like Michaela, then go ahead and get her. If you're free to play and you have an ultimate tier key and you can't get any other transcended allies, then Michaela will be a good asset for you, despite the fact that, you know, we're already far ahead. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys around. Peace.